Welcome back, everybody, to the Evening Double, episode number 29. This was a fun one. We had Chris Striegel back on, had him on a couple months ago. A good friend of ours, super knowledgeable, did a freestyle Q&A type episode here, me, Keeton, and Chris. It was fun. Yeah, a lot of good takes, a lot of good stuff. Most of the stuff we agreed on, a couple things we may have seen a little different, but no, it was a fun one. Chris is always enjoyable and knows a lot about the sport. If you guys are getting into your fall marathon training, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to help you hit your goals. We know that there's a lot of coaches out there. There's a lot of different instruction. There's AI. There's everything. If you want to reach out to us, we'll give you a free call, talk about your goals, see how we can help, and see if it's a good fit. Keeton's with KT Running Company. I'm with Stride Core Fitness. Everything's linked in the notes. Feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk to you. And also, just to help us grow the pod, give us a follow on Spotify here. We also have YouTube and Instagram. We'd love for you to check out some of the content we're putting out. But besides that, we appreciate you all listening and hope you enjoy episode number 29 of the Evening Double. Yeah, that's certainly true. If we're back with the legendary, the honorary, the one and only Chris Striegel, back again. It's our second repeat guest. You should be very, very proud of yourself. We don't bring on repeat guests here at the Evening Double.
Dang, who's your first guest?
Jackson Seidel.
Yeah. Did he went on your guys' pod first, and then he went on Cam Hanes' pod. That was a pretty big double.
Yeah, he was our first guest. Yeah.
He's a great guest. I listened to both of his pods. They're good. Dude, I've been listening to you guys. I like your guys' banter episodes a lot. So
we appreciate it. It's definitely more. I feel like it's more informative than your guys's. It's good. We've been enjoying it. You know, there's always something kind of to talk about. But today, basically, we just got a bunch of questions to shoot back and forth to kind of get Streak's input on some things. We can bounce it off of me, and then Keaton's going to join us in a little bit because he unfortunately has to do a thing called work until about 5 o'clock on a Friday. We were both, Chris is run employed, and I was able to get off a little early because I worked about 80 hours in the first 4 days this week, basically. So,
oh my gosh, dude,
no, that's an exaggeration, but it was you
still worked a lot, yeah.
Long week, but Streak. I guess the first one. This one, you actually, I think I just made a reel about it. We talked about it in our last pod. Doping in the sport of running. What is your stance on it? And do you think it can be combated?
Definitely against doping, for sure. But yeah, so the reel I just posted about was pretty interesting story. So Jonah Koech won the USATF 1500 meter championship last year, beat Cole Hawker, Yared Naguse, like all the hitters were there because like a world championship team was on the line. And he ended up getting popped like in the last week or two, is losing his title from last year. But the interesting thing about what happened is that he didn't actually get caught with like any drugs in his system. His hemoglobin levels were just like suspiciously high. And the conclusion when a test is like that is like there's no way your hemoglobin can like rise like that without using EPO or blood doping, where you like take out blood, put it in the fridge, and then put it back in like later on. Like a lot of people they say in the 90s were doing stuff like that. But so he went and he admitted it to USATF to lower his sentence, like from 4 years to 3 years. If you say you're guilty, if you tell the truth, they reduce your sentence. And so he does that. And then like this like random guy DMs him on Instagram and is like, what happened? Were you really doping? And like Let's Run gets hold of this DM conversation. It's funny because the Instagram account that was DMing him was like, it was like slow pace 69. Like it was like a hilarious account name. And he's telling this dude like I couldn't afford the attorney to defend myself. It was $50,000. And then he said, like, everyone's like hemoglobin numbers are different. He was born at altitude. So when he goes up and down from altitude, he has like huge shifts in how much like hemoglobin's in his blood, which is like somewhat reasonable argument, but I don't know. Like I'm not vouching for him in any way, but interesting story. So we'll see. Like it almost reminds me a bit of the Shelby Houlihan situation, but she never said she was guilty. She held out that she was not guilty. But I mean, overall, to combat doping, the doping testing is very good now. But like the problem with that guy is like Let's Run reported that he wasn't tested for like a 2 year span in there, and then all of a sudden in 2025 he dropped his top 1500 from 337 to 330, beat Cole Hawker and Yared, and made the world team. And then so the question was like, why aren't you guys testing him before? But they like select like the athletes that are like training the best, like at the moment, or like the highest profile ones. Like they're the ones that are getting tested all the time. So like I'm not like calling out Jacob at all, but like Jacob like rarely gets tested, like almost never gets tested. But then like Rory Linklater, who Jacob trains with, gets tested like all the time.
Interesting.
Just because there's a slight level difference, right?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, there's ways to get past the testing too. Like a lot of people say that they do like microdosing where you take very trace amounts like over a long period of time, but it like leaves your blood system fast enough and like it raises your level so slowly that it's like doesn't look suspicious. So yeah, I don't know. And then like there's other ways too, like people will like kind of legally dope. Well, they'll go to the doctor's office and say, um, they'll go to the right doctor that'll prescribe them thyroid medication, even though they don't like necessarily need it, and like that like has huge implications on your training as well. So yeah, it's just I don't know, like long-winded answer short. Uh, Doping testing is better than it's ever been, but there's still ways to get around it if you have a highly scientific team or like a doctor working with you to do it.
Yeah. My question, I guess, would be, I mean, I guess I kind of know the answer, but why would people do this? Why would they feel the need that they have to cheat to get faster? Like,
Yeah,
and especially when they see what happens when you do. Like, what goes through their mind, and what do you think that they're like, okay, I need to do this?
it's interesting because like the YouTube channel Ran to Japan, he always talks about how like no Japanese pro runners have like been popped like ever in recent history. I don't know if like ever they have. I would have to look it up, but it's like you never hear of a Japanese runner getting popped. But like the most of the athletes that have been getting popped, like the big two countries in the last like 10, 20 years is Kenya and Russia. Well, Russia's problem was they had state sponsored doping. So their federal government had a doping program where their top athletes were being doped, funded by the federal government. That's why they're not allowed to compete at the Olympics, World Championships. Like you won't see them at the Winter Olympics, Summer Olympics, Outdoor Worlds for track. Like they're not allowed to compete as a country. Some Russian athletes are allowed to compete as a unattached athlete at Worlds if they've proven, taken tests over a long period of time, been clean. But Russia as a country is not allowed to compete. They're banned from the sport still for a long time now. So I think Russia is more of a morality issue than like I think they're just like win at all costs mentality. On the other hand, though, Kenya is different. A lot of Kenyan athletes. I'm not saying all Kenyan athletes are doping. There's plenty of clean ones that are extremely talented, and I hope Sawe is clean. There's no immediate suspicion as to why he wouldn't be. He's just an extremely talented runner. But the women's world record, unfortunately, is a dirty athlete. She broke 210 at Chicago 2 or 3 years ago, and she still has the record because she got popped a while after that race. It's really taints that race. Like it makes me think she probably wasn't clean for that race. It was a absolutely stunning performance. But in Kenya, she didn't lose her prize money. They didn't take her prize money back. So for her, if it, $10,000 in Kenya goes a lot farther than the US. So if you choose to dope and you're a Kenyan athlete, you go get like fifth place at the Paris Marathon or some like random marathon in Europe. It doesn't even have to be a major, right? Amsterdam, whatever. you go get like fifth, sixth, seventh place, you bring home $10,000. All of a sudden, like you have supported your family like more than you ever could, like getting a job in Kenya, right? So I think for some people, it's a matter of like, this is the best move for my family, even if it taints me in the sport overall. Like I'm doing my family a solid by doing this. So that's where it gets tricky. I mean, it's still morally wrong, but I also am like not gonna. I mean, it's tough because you want people's families to have shelter and eat and stuff too, but it's at the expense of clean athletes. So
Yeah.
like, you shouldn't go about it that way. But I understand like maybe where their heads at when they do
Yeah.
that. But
That's
it's
exact
tricky.
that's exactly what I said. It's like life-changing money for them. And especially
Yeah.
because they don't have to give that money back, then it probably will never stop. That's exactly what was my take last time. And you know, I guess my only other question I have off of this is, do you think that people who get caught should serve a lifetime ban?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, lifetime ban is the only way that it works out. Unfortunately, there has been tests before where like people have tainted beef or whatever like that. And like I'm not talking about Shelby Houlihan, but like some athletes have been cleared because like they had some beef that had, some sort of drug or like trace amount of something in it, and like they got popped, but then, their defense team like came back, presented a good case, and they realized they shouldn't have been popped. So like in those situations, it's like that would be horrible if like a clean athlete. That's happened several times in the US where athletes have been cleared after an initial failed test. But yeah, I mean, Ed Eyestone said this on the Chicago Marathon. He was like commentating it like a year or two ago, and he was like, "Not yes, like athletes should get a lifetime ban. That's going to stop so many people because it's like if you're 20 years old, you dope, you get banned for 3 years. Like oh, you're 23, 24 years old, and you're back. Like you still have 10 to 15 years of good running left." But if you do a lifetime ban, all of a sudden, if you're in your early 20s, all this, your career is done. So that's a lot harder decision, like to try and dope. The other issue too is these athletes, like most of their coaches and agents, like there's one agent on that has like a slew of Kenyans. Like the guy that won Chicago last year, he's like one of his athletes. His name is Federico Rosa, and his agency has like a ton of the top East Africans. He has a long like list of people that have won world marathon majors that he was the agent for that got ended up getting popped for doping down the road. So you know the theory is like, I'm not saying he's doing this, but allegedly people are saying he's like helping them dope essentially to win. But then when he gets his cut, like agents get 10-15%, right, of the athlete's salary, prize money, everything, he's not giving that money back. So if he has an athlete win a major or two, they get popped for doping down the road. I mean, he's he's making a ton of money off them, and then he's rinsing and repeating, grabbing another one and doing it. So like he's like one of the main problems with the sport too, is like he needs to be get in trouble. If you're an agent, you have an athlete, like a consistent string of athletes getting popped for doping, yeah, like something is clearly fishy with you, and you probably shouldn't be allowed to be an agent anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
No,
dicey, dude.
that's a really good point. I guess we'll move on from that one.
Yeah, we can
Um,
move on.
all right, this is kind of a question I kind of been thinking about when it comes to shoes. Do you think shoe companies should be limited in what they could put out, like limiting the super shoes? Like I don't know, how much carbon or plates or whatever it may be.
uh, I mean, I've thought about this because it's good that they have a stack height like thing going on where like on the track pro athletes can't wear like the traditional marathon super shoes. They have to wear track spikes still. Like Roy Linkletter is running in a race at the Brussels Diamond League, I think later this month, where they're going for the 1 hour record on the track. Mo Farah has it. It's
What is
very
it?
rarely run. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. It's like under 1 hour half pace for sure, but there's some good runners running it. Like Rory's in it. There's some good track guys in it. But like the rules with World Athletics is you have to wear spikes on the track. You can't wear super shoes. So Rory's been having to train a lot in spikes just to get his body ready to run like a full half marathon in spikes,
I
which is
can't
going to be
imagine
horrible.
running a half marathon around a track.
yeah, but like on his side of things, it's his only opportunity to ever run a diamond league. Like he's not
Yeah.
gonna, so it's like you might as well do it. But yeah, so um, no, I do think like it's important that the stack height is, how tall the back of the shoe is limited because yeah, like now super shoes like are getting higher tech every time there's a new release. Like at what point, I mean, they pretty much have springs in them more or less, like the super foam. So it's like at what point are we going to say like, okay, like, you can't like run with like pogo sticks on your feet. Like right now, like, yeah, a lot of the world records on the road have been broken, like largely thanks to super shoes, more knowledge and fueling and stuff. But, if all of a sudden like new shoes come out and the marathon time quickly goes from like 159 down to like sub 150, like that's not very fun, right? Like as long as there's just like incremental gains along the way, like someone runs 158 in like 4 years or something, I can live with that with the shoe improvement. But I don't want it like so dumb that people are dropping like 10 minutes in the marathon instantly just because of shoe. And I think they'll like moderate the rules on that. There's only so much you can put in a certain stack height. So
Yeah.
I don't, I'm sure there'll be new tech coming out down the road. But yeah, I don't know. Like there has to be a limit for sure. Cause it just wouldn't be fun at some point. It'd be like really silly. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, going off of that, we asked this question maybe a couple weeks ago. What do you think the fastest a human can run a mile? Like in forever, whenever humanity is done, what is the fastest a human do you think could run a mile?
Like in the history, like in all future history of the world,
Yes.
or just like current existing humans,
Nope.
the
Future.
history of the world.
End of humankind.
I would say in the end of humankind, probably under 330, like 329.
329.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like shoes will always get better and stuff. Fueling, like, bicarb came out, no meal, all that kind of stuff that reduces your lactate. But I think human genetics are like vastly improving as well. You're getting parents who are both Olympians that have like unreal genes that are producing children. And, whenever Josh Kerr has a kid, like, and I don't know if his wife or girlfriend or whatever is a runner or she was a runner, but I mean, if she just has any like talent level at all in running or athleticism, like their kid's going to be a weapon, like, so all these, there's tons of examples of good runners that have like Matt Centrowitz's dad was like a 13 low 5K guy, like pro runner for Nike, ran at Oregon. I think he was on this team with Prefontaine. And like, so like that's not a coincidence that Matt Centrowitz won 1500 gold. Impossible to predict that he'd win gold, but not impossible to predict that his genetics would be very good from his dad. So, yeah, it's funny. I was listening to a podcast with Chad Ochocinco, and he's got kids with like several women, like a bunch of kids with a bunch of women. And someone asked him, Theo Vaughn, I think was Theo Vaughn's show, and Theo like asked him, was talking about his kids, and Chad was like, I purposely like only have kids with like athletic women. Like I just want to create like absolute like weapon of kids like for sports, and he like, but like, and most people don't think that way. That's like a bad way to go about, your life, I would say, like morally maybe, but I mean, I'm not going to judge him, but yeah, I don't know. I think that like genetics are just getting better and better for sure. So sub 330, I think is very possible.
Sub 330. All right. How about run a marathon?
Marathon, probably 145 or the half world record's like 56 something. Maybe sub 150. Like in the history of the world, I'm not talking in our lifetime. That wouldn't be in our lifetime. But yeah, in the history of the world, sub 150. I mean, like that, the current pace is like around 430, isn't it? So, I mean, we'd be talking someone running like 415 mile pace for 26. Like go run one lap on the track in 64 seconds and like let me know how hard it is. It's very hard. It's extremely hard. So, yeah, I people like Yomif Kajelcha, like you watch him run, when he runs that pace and a half, it's like he's not even trying. So some people just got it, they just got it.
Yeah, that would be.
He's trying, but he just, if you're going to have perfect form, that's going to make it a lot easier for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch over to marathons and talk about a little world majors here. Do you think, in your opinion, it's becoming too hard to get into a world marathon major? Or do you think it's adequate that it should be at the level it is?
When you told me that you didn't get into New York with the 234, that's when I started thinking it's too hard. I do think it's tough because a race like New York there's a lot of charity bibs. If you live in New York City, there's ways to get in. If you run like 9 NYRR races, then you like get a guaranteed spot into New York City. So that takes a ton of spots away. But yeah, I mean, all the majors, like if you're a guy our age, like, and you're not running at least 245, you're probably not going to get in, or Boston like 248, 249. That's just like people freak out about Boston, but like most other majors are like tougher to get into than Boston.
Yeah. If you're talking time, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough because they have a limit of like how they allow people in. You're able to get a charity bib if you're not fast enough. So like you have to raise money for that, of course. But yeah, I don't know. I think that sorry, Sebastian's crying over there.
That's all right.
Ashley.
I hear
him. Yeah, but no, I think like they have a cutoff of how many people they can like legally put on the street in races. So like the best way to do it is a descending speed list. And then like, yeah, if you want to get in otherwise, like you have to get a charity bib. So no, I don't think it's like too hard to get in. I was a bit annoyed that you didn't get into New York. I didn't really understand how. New York's kind of tricky. I don't really understand it, but yeah.
No, it's Boston, I feel like, is the only one that's really just kind of straightforward to you. Like you have a cutoff time. It's probably going to be a few minutes below it. You're probably going to know if you're getting it or not. Like the other ones, though, like Tokyo, I'm still confused on how to get in that thing. Like it's like they have like 100 bibs or something if you're 227 or less. And then it's like either charity or it's like this other stuff. And it's very confusing. London basically is just your lottery, which is just obscene. I mean, they made it 2 days next year and it still had like a 5% you got a rate of acceptance or whatever. When you get 1.2 million people, and it just, I don't know, it seems that a couple of them that would just be like darn near impossible.
Yeah, the London 2 day thing is like really perplexes me. Like most people's responses to that have been like, oh, I think it's a good thing, like more people are allowed to run the race, it's great. But I don't know, like my like main concern from like a sub elite approach is like if they have me run the race one day and then the other day is like perfect weather and then my day is like horrible weather, that would like drive me nuts. But like if you have it all on the same day, that eliminates that issue. But yeah, on the other side of things, like it is nice that more people are going to be able to experience it for sure. People have been concerned about like the environment, the crowd. I think the crowd will still come out in full force. Like the people of London are going to be like, oh, I get to get drunk and watch this race for 2 days now instead of one. Like this is awesome. Yeah, I mean, the logistical nightmare for the organizers. So there must be more than enough money for it to make sense because road closures for 2 days and like one of the most like busy cities like in the world. I can't imagine being that race director. So
yeah,
logistically tough. But
when you're letting in 100,000 people now, it probably will have enough money for it. What do you think? Yeah. What do you think they're going to do? How are they going to split it up?
So they already said. So they're going to do. One day is going to be the women's sub elite and sub elite, and then they're going to have like a mass group after them, and then another day is going to be men's elite, sub elite, and then just like so the masses will be like mixed gender, will be men and women, but yeah, elite and sub elite women one day, and men the other day, and then just like groups of masses behind them. I don't know how the masses are going to be organized, but so like. Yeah, for the sake of the elite races, I would actually prefer they're all on the same day just for the men and women, it's like fair weather for everybody. Yeah. Because in London that time of year, it could be like 55, 60 one day and the next day be like 70, 72, which would suck. So
yeah, no, that's true. I thought they might just completely separate it by gender, but
That would be interesting. Yeah, if they did that. I mean, they could. I wouldn't see an issue with that, I guess. But
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
All right. You're probably, I think I might know your answer to this one.
Uh,
Do you feel that influencers are good or bad for the sport as a whole?
ooh, it's a kind of a loaded question.
Yeah.
I would say, generally speaking, I would say good, but there's plenty that are bad. But generally speaking, I think most running influencers are putting out positive content. They are sharing their journeys. There's so many like weight loss journeys, or I was addicted to heroin and now I'm a 235 marathoner. Like, there's so many stories out there that are really inspiring to a whole lot of people. So I think people sharing their stories or sharing themselves doing hard things is really, really good for the sport. And I have no problem with someone like sharing their personal journey like that. I do think that, and people have roasted me in the comments for saying this, but I don't care. I do think the running influencers that are like smoking cigarettes after runs and stuff, and like, I mean, like, I'm fine if you want to like fun run a race or whatever and like drink a beer with your friend and stuff, but I don't know. Like, I just think if there's like running influencers out there that are kind of like saying like, oh, like unhealthy habits every now and then are like cool, like smoking a cig every now and then is fine. Like, I don't know. I just don't know if that's like the best message. Like you will never catch me dead smoking a cigarette, bro. Like and I've I was talking to Brad Pierce about this last week too on a run. Some running influencers, which is fine, will like do like gimmicky like challenges to get views. Like, oh, it's my like 40th birthday. I'm going to go run 40 miles. Like, stuff like that. I have like no interest in content like that. Like, I will do nothing that interferes with my training for content ever. My content will always be based around like what I'm doing for training. But overall, running influencers, good, mostly positive. I think there are some out there that are just like, I don't know, like just doing like dumb stuff, and like maybe some 18 to 22-year-old like guys think that's cool and like want to replicate that. And I think that's like where I would draw the line where it's like good for the sport or not. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I would say like overall it's good because they're, promoting the sport mostly in good ways, a lot of times in good ways. But, there are a lot of instances where people might start following them and as you said, do dumb stuff and people think, oh, I should try to do that. And I feel like the main thing is that it would provoke more injury than anything. That
Yeah,
would be the only negative.
I think one thing too, there's like, I think a lot of influencers give a very like false premise of maybe I was going to say like how easy it is to like do what they do. It's like people say like right now it's so easy to blow up on the internet, just post every day, like yada yada yada. But I mean, the reality is there is like a zillion running influencer pages out there. It is so hard, even if you have like a really unique story. Like it's like, I don't know. I think a lot of people think that people like that do content full time are just like screwing around all day. And it's like, it is like pretty calculated for sure. Like people really think about like what they're posting, like, and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think like maybe there's sometimes a false pretense that like being a full time content's like very easy, but I think it does take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Do what's
Talking
up,
about
Keaton.
talking about full time.
Are you getting ready for your next training block, chasing a PR, training for your first marathon? Or maybe you're just tired of getting generic training plans and AI coaches that are giving you impossible splits? That's where we come in. If you're looking for coaching that's actually built around you, your schedule, your goals, and your life, we'd love to help. I coach through KT Running Company, specializing in individualized run coaching for any athlete from high school, college, and road racing looking to reach the next level. Erik coaches through Stride Core Fitness, offering personalized run coaching along with strength training and Pilates to help you stay healthy, build durability, and perform your best. If you're interested in working with either of us, send us a message on Instagram or check out the links in the show notes to schedule a free call. We'd love to learn about your goals and help you put together a plan that actually works for you. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Working man. There he is.
What a
Yeah,
beast, bro.
I
What
had
a cool
a,
hat.
that's what it seems like I was walking into. I was curious,
and you might have already touched on this. I'm just joining in here. Chris, thanks for coming on. Um,
Of
do you
course.
feel like you are more busy than you were as a full-time like regular job, or do you think that the balance of like loving this more makes up for that and makes it feel less like maybe like you do have more free time because you actually enjoy some of this?
I would say I have less free time. Like the good thing about my old job was when I was logged off, I was logged off. So that was nice. Like the weekends, never had to work. Some nights I would be on till like 7 or 8, but once I was logged off, I was logged off. There's no cell phone. Like I didn't have a work phone. So like literally if I wasn't on the work computer, I couldn't work. Yeah, now it's like when you're coaching runners, like your phone's always, I got runners in Europe and stuff. So I got text 24/7. When I wake up, when I go to bed, I got text I got to respond to. And then yeah, I mean, just like the content doesn't stop like on the weekends and 4 pods a week. I don't know. And like I'm doing like singlets and like hats right now, and like merch is like annoying to deal with. But yeah, I would say overall I'm more busy. But am I happier? Yeah, I am happier even though I'm more busy. And the kid is definitely like the baby is adding to the busyness for sure, because like Stoddard, he was crying a bit earlier, Stoddard, and I think Ashley just took him to my in-laws since we're going to the movies later. But yeah, like he's Ashley's going back to work on Monday, so I'm gonna have to figure out like how do I manage my, because I'm like essentially stay-at-home dad now while Ashley's at work. So I'm gonna have like my mother-in-law and my mom over a lot so I can get some stuff done. But yeah, so that's gonna be new to navigate. But yeah, pretty much when I wake up every day, it's a very full day, like running 100 miles a week, 4 podcasts a week, content daily, yeah, coaching over 50 people. 50 people is like my max for coaching. Like I cannot take more text messages, calls, like stuff. I love doing it. I love it. I'm not saying I don't love it, but that's like my limit for sure if I'm going to do the other stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. What do you use any sort of like organizational tool that helps you stay like that, or are you just kind of like a fly by the seat of your pants, and if you remember it, you remember it. If you don't, you don't, and then you try to just piece it all together?
I'll answer that for Streak. It's definitely number two.
Yeah, it's definitely number two. Every now and then I will make a list on my notes of what I need to accomplish today. I was actually like much better at doing that when I quit my job, but now it's all up here, man. Like I kind of have a routine. Like every single day I try to post 2 short form reels. One, I post like a 3 to like 8 minute podcast clip every day on YouTube, and just like kind of clickbait title it. That seems to work. Those are actually doing really well. Yeah, like I said, 4 podcasts a week. And then I try to get like around 10 plans done every day. And then if I have any coaching calls, stuff like that to do, I do our accounting on Mondays. Yeah, so like I kind of have like a daily layout every time something's thrown in there, like merch, whatever that I have to deal with. But yeah, so I got like a good setup for the week. But some days wrenches are thrown in, baby's really fussy, whatever. So that means I'm up till 2 a.m.
Yeah, I was gonna say how long in advance, like how long out in a plan do you send an athlete? So how many weeks are you putting together per each athlete when you're doing 10?
One at a time. Yeah, just one
1
at a
week at a
time.
time.
So
I like it.
yeah, Jacob does more than that, and I might start doing that. I think it's good because like you can look at what they've been doing in the last like week or so, and then make like immediate, like, oh, you hit the workout last week well, or like workout was too hard last week. We can like alter that, or we can like change some things like immediately next week instead of like having your next 6 weeks built out. But I mean, it would be less stressful to do them like for a full month instead of like week over week. So I wouldn't have to do them every week. But
Yeah, I mean, if theoretically if you do it, like you get those 50 plans for a month out, you kind of have like a month to play with the next month. But that's the way I do it, is the weekly one, because, or I'll at least have the bones of it put out, but that's only on like my copy of things, and then send it out weekly. That way there's no stress about the next week. We're trying to execute week one, or whatever week we are on, as well as being able to adjust. And I think that it gives the athlete, and maybe you've seen this too, I think it gives the athlete more confidence if you don't have to change something that's been penciled in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because like you see it penciled in, we're going to want to do it. And if we change it, we're going to be like, oh, like I didn't get the full effect of what I was trying to do. So I think that I kind of like
Yeah.
that, the way we do it. And in college,
Yeah.
we didn't even know the workouts we were going to do until we had warmed up and we are done with strides and we were like huddled up around the track before we knew what we
Same.
were
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. That was the good old days, man. When coach tells you right before you start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good too. Like if someone picks up a knick-knack injury and they see their workouts for next week and they're like, dang, I don't want to miss those. And they like force it, because they want to do the workouts. Like if there's like a clean slate on next week and, I feel like that makes a little less pressure for the athlete to like force running the next week or do something silly. So good little mental trick there. But yeah, Jacob's dialed, bro. Me and him are polar opposites. He got his coaching and daily schedule like so dialed. So
He's a very type A kind of guy. He's got it all.
you wouldn't think so socially, but he is very type A. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to expose anyone, but I do have a question.
Okay.
What's the most annoying thing your athletes do?
Oh. I'm trying to think. I don't want to.
I doubt they all listen to us, but you never know.
Well, no. Yeah, I mean, this one's like fine. I think the main thing is like, if you're going to pay for the plan, like stick to the plan, like if you're going to trust me with it, I think that's an easy one. And that's not like necessarily a call out to anyone or anything, but yeah, it's just like, if you're going to trust me with the plan, like trust me with the plan, don't go like doing, adding reps or adding 20 miles to your week or whatever, at least run it by me, cause it's just that's mainly from a, like if you're going to pay me like to do this, trust me to do it. Like, but if you want to coach yourself, like that's fine. But I just don't want people to like waste their money if they're not going to use me,
Yeah.
So yeah, not a call out, but just, that happens for every coach for sure. Like coaches
100%.
got runners that do that all the time.
And then they get hurt.
Yeah. That happens when I was, coaching you for, Boston, you were bumping up those miles, man. Then you got hurt.
I was.
Bro. Should have listened to me.
Well, we were also on, weren't we just doing, you were not giving me a full week.
I was just giving you workouts. That's what it ended up being. Yeah. Cause you were just like, let me just do my own mileage. And
let me go do 20 a day.
You know what you're doing enough to,
That's
I was fine with that.
At the beginning of college for me, we had a coach that was more so on the like, figure out what mileage works for you in between the days. Probably would have, definitely would have talked it through with us and would explain, what we were trying to get out of each day. But it was definitely kind of up to us of how much mileage we wanted to run in between.
Yeah.
I think that kind of, and Erik, I'm not sure if you had that experience, is you're trying to say you basically run 20 miles every day. Kind of gets you stuck in a numbers game of like trying to hit something. And it's like an arbitrary thing you set each week rather than being like okay with what's on the plan. I think that's what I ended up putting in like an 8-month stretch of just like almost 90 miles a week with not very many down weeks. Everything was clicking really well. It was during like the COVID time, so we weren't even racing. And then I got injured right when racing started. So I think I probably cooked me a little bit too much just trying to do those like, oh, I'm going to maybe run a little bit less today and then I'll run like a couple extra miles here or squeeze in an extra mile here kind of thing rather than just kind of have something on paper. And that's why I think coaches are really beneficial to just have something, a second set of eyes, things on the paper that keeps you in check. Because that's the easiest thing is to do too much is what I think.
Do you guys do like forced down weeks or do you like doing that like every 4 weeks, 5 weeks or something? Or do you just take one when you feel like you need it?
I'm not big on it. I've done both.
I never do. Yeah.
I used to do 3 up, 1 down. And the 1 down was not, the workout stayed the same. The mileage just went slightly less. It might be maybe a couple miles off the long run. So it'd be like, if I was going to do, let's just say I was doing 90 to 95, I would be like 95, 95, 95, then like maybe 88. Maybe I skipped a double and took a mile or 2 off the long. Just enough to, and not really a whole lot, to be honest, but like skipping a double is big for like the rest of your day. It definitely sets you up well, especially if it was like the day before or day of a workout. Skipping a double there was probably pretty good recovery wise. So I think that's a good way to do it. It's kind of like almost like a 10% decrease
Yeah,
Rough.
my college coach would have me do 20%. So I'd do like go from 100 to 80 every for like so once a month, and we would cut the long run from like 18 to 20 down to like 14, and just like cut out all the doubles for the week essentially, but keep the intensity the same. So
Yeah, I think if you're going to do it, do not change the intensity. It's just got to be a mileage thing if you're going
yeah,
to have a down week, because you can't, like, your progress is going to be your progress. It's almost like a week to freshen up and hit the specificity work is way I view a down week really. But I also think it's good when you're not in a system like a college thing where like we are all just creating whatever we want from a race schedule to workout schedule, that kind of thing. It's like plan
yeah,
a race instead of a down week, and make that a natural kind of slightly less mileage week. You get a race stimulus. They don't always have to be your A race. You don't have to always have to be as in your best form, but you can kind of use those to be natural down weeks too.
that's exactly what I would say. If you're in a marathon build or like 2.5 build, and you have a 10K or half, 5, 6, 7 weeks out from your race, like, yeah, use that as a down week, get fresh for the race, test the fitness. Yeah. We already talked about this, Keeton, but I'm curious, did you see or do you think Jonah Coach is clean or now? Or do you think
Dude,
he's
no,
dirty?
no. I mean, I'm skeptical because actually just saw your reel as I was walking to my car after work to come
Oh,
straight here
nice.
to the pod. Was that there's some text messages. I haven't read or heard the news yet, so there's some text messages that say that he
This
just
guy,
accepted it to get a year off, and now he's saying he didn't do it.
yeah, so this guy named like Slow Pace 69 on Instagram DM'd him and like asked him about it, and Let's Run got a hold of the DMs. I guess this guy was like a Let's Run message boarder, and yeah, he was like, I couldn't afford an attorney for $50,000 to defend myself, and he said his hemoglobin levels like drastically change when he's going up and down from altitude, and that there was no dope found in his system. It was just like his levels were suspicious, so that triggered the failed test or the failed like the suspension. Because even if there's no like, if they don't find a drug in your system, if your like blood levels are suspicious or like they're over a certain point, then like you're busted. So yeah, I don't know. It's like, but I just don't understand like why would I mean, I guess the logic is, oh, like 3 years is better than 4, but like, why would you admit your guilt if you're not guilty? Like,
Yeah, that's the way I think
I
of
don't
it.
know.
So let's double check that everything's here. Is it's that athlete passport that's based off of their baselines. So these are fluctuations based off of their baselines, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So my question is if he's a guy that's born in altitude, he lives and trains at altitude. I'm pretty sure he's a Colorado Springs guy, right?
Yeah,
And back
yeah.
and forth between Baltimore. He was in Baltimore for a little bit,
Yeah,
left his
Baltimore.
coach,
Yeah.
and then like trains with that group in Colorado with the Army, that WCAP group. Um, and he's in Kenya a lot. So my question is, if that process can create an increase in a guy that was born in altitude and has altitude stimulus all the time, and he's testing above his normal limits, then why are guys that are not born at altitude like Graham Blanks and all those guys, or Jacob, when he goes to altitude and lives there from now on, like how come those guys aren't getting popped? Because now they're creating a stimulus that they've never had before. So you would think that they would get more benefit and create these like increases from their baselines that would cause or trigger suspicion. So my thing is like, I don't think that maybe I'm not right on the science of that, but to me, if a guy's there and exposed already has like a high level for it, how is a lower altitude here in the United States than in Kenya going to trigger his baselines to be up?
Here's what he said about that. Can you guys see that or not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for all those listening, we've got something up on the screen here if you want to check it out.
Yeah, so he's essentially saying like his blood was like barely higher than like his normal ranges. And then he was talking
19.6
about
and 18.7.
he said like it goes, based on what altitude he's at, it varies a lot. Um, and then he said we're all different. I was born in high altitude in Kenya, and then he referred to another Kenyan athlete's case who got busted for a similar thing, but then it was overturned. It ended up being overturned.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Gerudo. That's steeplechase world record holder, I think, right?
I think so, yeah. But Yeah, so kind of interesting, but it's like you shouldn't have admitted your guilt because now you're kind of
Yeah, now he's kind of tainted.
yeah. Well, it's just pretty hard to come back from that. Like USADA pretty much said it's a done deal. When you like let's run ask them about it, they're just like, yeah, like it's a done deal. So
Yeah, that's why Shelby went broke funding lawyers for years and years. Her case was eventually like overturned to like uphold the suspension, but she wasn't. She never admitted guilt.
yeah,
And
yeah,
she still doesn't have a sponsor, and she's winning U.S. titles, being close like fourth place in world champs last year.
yeah.
So
I
like
wonder
I
how
don't
she's
see him
paying for
getting
all
picked
that.
up anywhere.
I heard she like pretty much bankrupted herself, like defending herself. So I don't know how she's paying for like all the travel and stuff. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I was thinking
I
the
thought
same thing.
I thought a smaller brand would like take a chance on her and like pay her, but then none of them want to. So
The only thing I can think of is that a smaller brand has higher risk of like if a bandit or
losing.
something pulled them up or like started sponsoring her, like that's a very supported brand by runners. So if they don't want that, then like it could fluctuate. But if like nobody's going to boycott Nike or make a difference in Nike if Nike sponsored her again, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could have, but I guess she's out of her prime, so Nike's done.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's a cutthroat world out there.
Yeah, it is for sponsorships. Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I just feel bad for Hobbs missing out on a world team. In the
yeah,
1500 in the U.S., it's probably like the hardest team to make. So I don't know.
yeah,
Hopefully, he gets another one in another time in the USA kit because that's a tough loss.
yeah.
Would
It
have been a
is.
crazy story for Ethan Strand too, getting second in NCAA's, being a college guy, and then comes in and wins the U.S. title in 3:30. It would have been pretty wild.
Yeah, that would have been sick. Yeah, yeah. That was like a stacked race. I can't believe it was crazy that he won that race. I completely had forgotten about it. So yeah, crazy stuff. Are you Keaton? Are you going to be at Seneca tomorrow or no?
I'm. It's a maybe. My buddy Griff and I, we were going to do steady on the long run, a little bit of a progression. So I'm going to see if he
Okay.
wants to mix in some ons and offs instead with you. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. That's vastly different than what I'm doing. I did long study last weekend, but
Yeah,
if you guys want to change it, let me know. That'd
yeah,
be
we'll
sick.
let you know. We did double T this week and first double T session of the block. So not the body feels fine, and we'll see about tomorrow. We kind of have a little bit of leeway being the ones that write our own plans here, but so we'll see. I'll run it by
Yeah.
coach, which is just myself. Right?
Or my coach, yeah.
All right, Strieg. Going back, a couple more questions. This
Let's
is
do it.
branked off what I'm doing. What are your takes on ultra running and like 100 milers?
Like would I do them or no?
Would you
Is that
do them? What? How do you feel about them?
And
Like,
beware, if we post a reel with this answer, you're gonna get hatred.
I mean, like for me personally, I have zero interest in doing any road races over a marathon. I think like it's just too boring for me to like be on the road for that long. I do have a ton of interest in doing like long trail ultras when I'm like past my marathon peak. So like super late 30s, early 40s is I'll probably start doing that stuff just because I can still be like highly competitive in that stuff. But once your 5K, 10K speed really starts degrading as you get like late 30s, early 40s. Yeah, like I don't know. I just want to be competitive in what I'm doing. So yeah, like once I like get up to that age, I'll start dabbling in like some hundreds, maybe some longer stuff, and see what happens. But overall, I like ultra a lot. I just the road ones like, or even Tunnel Hill in Illinois, like that's a gravel one. It'd be like running 100 miles on like Sawyer's crushed gravel. Like I don't have a ton of interest in. It's a great race, don't get me wrong, but like personally, I don't have a ton of interest. But I do think ultras are great. It's a very different. I think the scene is like very like family kind of style. Like people are very nice to each other at races. And my only thing about pro ultra running is that there's no uh, like doping testing at all. So that's super concerning because
Know that.
Yeah, there's no governing body for ultra like World Athletics. So
Yeah, I didn't realize that until this Cam Hanes Sage candidate type of information came out.
Yeah, I mean, anyone in ultra could be dope, and I mean, maybe, I mean, it would make a difference in any kind of ultra, but especially like a runnable one, like Western States. I mean, yeah, if you're taking EPO, yeah, like that's going to be pretty helpful. So
yeah, because they start ripping like 5-minute pace down some of these hills, and when they get to flats and stuff.
Dude, I've seen videos of Jim Walmsley at Western States on the trails. And I'm like, it's like early in the race, dude's running like sub 6 pace on a like really technical trail. And I'm just like, what? Like he's not human, dude. It's crazy. So
he's done some crazy stuff, man. I wouldn't even think he's human based off of just his training alone. Like,
I was like so bought in that he was going to make the Olympic trials or the Olympic team in the marathon in 2020. I was like, I have a Strava post where I predicted the team and I put him on there. I was so down.
What did he finish that year?
He ran well. I think he ran like I want to say like two, maybe he qualified with the 2:14. He placed like fairly high. I want to say like in the top 20 or so, but like he wasn't a factor late by any means. Man can dream.
Have you heard the story about him having the camera guy with him, and he was doing like his heat training? So he went down to like Phoenix to do a run and was driving back up to Flag with the windows up and heat on, and the camera guy ended up like passing out in his car, but he wouldn't let him roll the window down and turn the AC on.
I didn't know the camera guy passed out. I feel like I've seen a clip of that, but I didn't know that the camera guy passed out. That's psychotic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he passed out while doing it from some heat exhaustion.
Dude, the crazy thing about Walmsley, I don't think he drinks anymore. There was some like interviews and even like some pre-race stuff he would do where he was like visibly drunk for sure. And like, like he was like definitely, maybe not like, he wasn't like sloppy or anything, but he like had a few beers in him for sure, which was hilarious because he was like super funny in them. But I'm a big Walmsley fan. Love that guy.
Yeah, he does some crazy stuff. We were just talking about Strava. What's your take on overall Strava being good or bad for the everyday runner?
I think it's good. I think like honestly, I would call Strava a social media platform personally. Like, with the commenting, the likes, like you can DM people now. I think it's the best social media platform, like positivity wise. Like there's no brain rot on there. It's just like you're seeing what other athletic activities other people are doing. So yeah, I think it's great for the sport. I think like it's motivational to see what other people are doing. You can get on the other side of things, if you're someone that's prone to comparing yourself to others, you can go down a very dangerous rabbit hole on Strava. I could easily like go on Corbin's Strava and like see that he's smashing long runs that maybe I didn't hit the paces or something and get discouraged. But yeah, so you just got to be careful to not worry too much about what other people are doing, So
yeah, comparison.
I think it's great.
Comparison's the thief of joy. So that's it.
Do you ever post separate runs, like warm up, cool down, workout?
No, never. The only time I've done that is like when I had a uphill treadmill threshold and I warmed up and cooled down outside. Besides that,
okay.
I mean, back in the day, I'd be like, like college or like maybe like shortly after college, I'd want to be like, I want my average pace to look sick on Strava, but nah, I couldn't care less. I'll do my walk rest or standing rest on my watch, post it, whatever.
Yeah. The other day, I felt like ashamed to upload a couple activities from my one workout because I started it like just on my watch, and then my watch died. I didn't realize it was on low battery, so it died. And then I had to do. I used my phone for the cooldown on the Strava record, and then I added like I shouldn't have done it, but I ended up adding like the extra mile or something that I was missing. So I had like 3 activities, and I was just like, "Oh God, that just looks too."
And but you say sorry for the Strava litter at that point.
Yeah. You have to apologize at least if you're going to post more than twice. I think if you post something for a second, like 2 things for one activity, I'm gonna just roll my eyes. But if you post 3, I'm gonna be needing an apology. So I apologize for my behavior last week, guys.
There's some major noobs out there that are. This is like an instant unfollow activity. I don't care who you are on Strava. Oh, I have a huge flex to announce on Strava, by the way, in a second. But the like some people like they'll go do like 5 by mile and they'll do a separate activity for each mile repeat.
I hate
Like
that.
instant unfollow. Like I'm done with you. I don't care who it is. So
Okay,
yeah.
second one is if unless you're running like on the treadmill and then you go outside. I hate it when strides are uploaded separately too.
Oh yeah, that's goofy, dude. Yeah. I
Like
haven't seen
just
anyone do that in
keep
a
it
long
rolling.
time.
Just keep it rolling.
I think people have like figured that stuff out, like whether, like as people have been on Strava longer, they figure things out. So they figure out what's good about it.
Only time is when I have a race. I'll do the warm up cool down if I had a race.
Yeah. That's fine. The race is that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly acceptable. Don't even apologize for 3 posts. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I'll pull this up.
What's this Strava announcement here?
Oh yeah, this is crazy work. Do you guys know who True Haynes is?
Never heard of him.
No.
Are you serious?
No, we're just joking.
I was gonna say, come on. All right, here's his
We
page.
talked about him on our last pod. Let's see. Do you have a faster segment than him in somewhere in Flag or something?
No, look, no, I've never been to Flag. Look at this. All right, you see how many followers he has and following? How many people he's following? Look at this right here.
Chris Striegel.
Chris Striegel.
You dog.
I'm one of 15 people he's following on Strava. I don't know why.
George Mills.
Yeah,
Man,
everyone else is like pretty. He's following Sam Evers too, Stotterman.
Why is he following Sam Evers?
Like you got like all these pros, like big influencers, like Noah Anderson, Roy Linkletter's dog.
George
like
Mills,
this guy,
a 12:48 5K runner.
Yeah, like Mac Joliffe, like just won Badwater. Like, yeah, this guy he trained with in Flax. I was like, why? I don't know why I got the follow, but I was like, I'm down, dude. Like, awesome. So, yeah, so shout out.
There you go.
For the follow.
Pretty cool.
Thank you.
I don't think I have any cool people that follow me on Strava. I remember at some point when we were in high school, Jacob's younger brother Josh, my good buddy, I think that Edward Cheserek thought Josh was Jacob and followed Josh on Instagram. So like when we were in like high school or middle school while Jacob was racing NCAA, Ed Cheserek followed Josh for some reason. And like it was always pretty funny.
Yeah. Dude, I was on a run with Yared once, like before, maybe the summer before he was going to Notre Dame. And Jacob was there and he was like, do you know who, he was talking about Cheserek. And Yared was like, who is that? And Jacob was like, Edward Cheserek. He was like, several time national champ at this point.
Like 20.
Yeah. And like Yared like had no idea who he was. And I was like, I love that. Like, it's good that he had no idea what he was walking into,
Yeah. I went for a run with him one time and like, I'm a pretty big like running nerd. And
yeah,
I just remember asking him one time, like, how many miles are you running? And he was like, I don't even know, maybe like 20, 30. And this was like, I think like, shoot, it had to be as he was starting to run like 406 and stuff toward the end of his senior year.
Dang, what a beast, bro.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. He
mega talent right there.
Been trying to get him on the pod, man. He won't come
We've
on.
tried. Yeah, we've tried. He's not a big pod guy, I don't think. Dude, you could get like some good guests that I guarantee you would say yes, like Vince Ciotti for sure. Drew Hunter would say yes.
Drew's on the pod next week once he gets back from racing this weekend.
Oh, dude, he's like the nicest guy. You guys will love him.
Yeah, super cool.
Cool.
I'm excited to have a conversation with him, and he's got World Road Running Champs here coming up. Just had his 3rd kid, so a lot of Andy's racing weekend. So very busy man at the moment.
Yeah, Okay.
Last question, then we'll start wrapping up here. We know it's Friday. Talking about the elite runners. First, do you think they should have to race more?
Ooh, do I think like the marathoners?
Any of them? Yeah, sure, marathoners.
I was gonna say the track athletes race a good amount. I'm fine with how much they race. Marathoners is tough because like they do 2 marathons a year, and those are pretty taxing. I'm gonna say it's tough because like I would love to see guys like Clayton Young and Connor Mance race more, and you don't see them too much. I mean, they've been hurt too, though. I don't know. I'm going to say no. Like I think the track guys race plenty, and then the marathoners, it's they do a tune-up half. They'll maybe do a couple shorter races in between marathons, and then they have their A marathon. As long as they're showing up to 2 marathons and 2 halves a year and like racing well, I'm fine with that for the marathoners. But I would love to see them more, but it just doesn't make sense for them. So,
do you think they should be paid more?
oh, I think the top tier ones get paid plenty.
Yeah.
So I don't think they need any more. I
It's
bet
the
Connor
middle
Mance. Yeah, the middle class probably gets paid, 30 to 60K. I would say they maybe it's tough because you hear about influencers making more than some like middle class pro runners. It's all about being visible. So like Jacob has done a great job with that. He's started a podcast. He's posting on YouTube. They have like a ton of sponsors now on their podcast. Like he's making himself visible. So I think partly like yes, the middle class like pros, I would like to see them get paid more. But if they're also like not posting content and like making themselves super visible, like they're not super valuable to the brands at that point if they're just like finishing in the middle of fields every year, like and not winning races. But if they are posting YouTube, documenting their story, and maybe they finish 5th place at USA final or something, but they have like a huge following online that's like really excited about their races and stuff and training, like, yeah, you're instantly like 2x value for a brand. Like ran to Japan, like he just extended his Brooks deal 2 years and he's a 214 guy, but he's got like a ton of subscribers, people follow him like crazy. So yeah, like I think the middle class runners deserve more if they're like making themselves visible. If they're just training and not active on socials, like, yeah, it's their own fault, I would say. So
yeah, I agree with
maybe
that.
that's harsh.
That's a good take. No, I think that's a good take. I think you're pretty much like paid to represent the brand because there is no like governing body. So you're not going to get paid like any other way. So
yeah, like are you selling shoes for this brand or not? Like straight up, So and yeah, so that's like the question. And most pros don't have discount codes, but it's people need to see you running in their stuff online to like be, for their brain to like process, oh, like Jacob Thompson's running in Under Armour's, like I should run in Under Armour's, So yeah. So gotta post, man. Gotta be all over it. But yeah, hopefully I didn't annoy any pros out there.
No, I think that they should realize it too. I think you're seeing a lot of people try to get into it, at least starting different YouTube channels, different things to follow, which has been fun for me. I think we're in the era of like increased visibility of what pro runners are doing. It's like as knowledge also like kind of is more widespread. So it's been really cool to see that.
Yeah.
I think we've just kind of got like one more thing to wrap up here is
Nice.
OTQ 2028. Is it in the cards or not?
I mean, I've been saying like the odds are stacked against me, but
They
like,
said it is.
Yeah, I mean, they did say the odds are stacked against me. I mean, the reality is like if I actually run like 218 or 19 in Berlin, which I think I can do, or like in Indy, one of those 2 races this fall, then yes, it's like very on. But if I don't break 220 this fall, then like it gets tougher for sure. So because right now my PR is 222, I was in sub 220 shape this spring, I would say, but I don't have the time to prove it. So I need to make the right strides this fall to like get closer, like to actually believe it's possible. If I run 218 high or like 219 low in Berlin or Indy, then yeah, like, thinking that I can chop off like 3 more minutes in the next year, like, if I don't get hurt, yeah, that's like not the craziest thing. But if I'm still a 222 guy at the end of this year, then, that's not the most ideal place to be to break 216 in the marathon in the next year. So I gotta like, there's a lot of pressure this fall to like perform for sure. So,
well,
I had a bad spring. So
yeah. Well, if you perform under pressure, yes, there's a lot of pressure. But if you don't, then there's really not any pressure. So whatever helps you make the jump. I know that like I think 4% of a marathon is roughly a mile. It's roughly like 4.5, 5 minutes or something like that. So really, like
Yeah.
you're just talking in the small numbers of percentage of improvement here, and a lot of that will
Yeah.
come with continued consistency and improvement that you've been doing for years. So, what
Yeah.
is something, maybe another quick short follow up is, what is something that you tell yourself to, like, one, stay motivated, but two, to remind yourself that the work you've done in the past doesn't just disappear, that you can carry what you've done over maybe the last 2 marathons and the progress in those builds? What can you tell yourself to, like, yes, I still have this. This is in my bag. I'm carrying this into the next one.
Yeah. I think what my having a kid definitely motivates me a lot now to like show him that. I mean, he's not going to remember like any of these like races over the next like year and a half or two probably, but I don't know, like you just want to show your kid that you can do hard things and like set challenging goals and achieve them with hard work. I think like if I can hammer that into him by him watching me at an early age, that would be very beneficial for his life for sure. But I don't know. I think I like need to prove it to my college self that I still have it, because I think in college I was like pretty like confident and like had a like pretty good like grind mindset, and then I kind of got lazy after I graduated college, and but then I started getting serious again, picked it up. So I think I need to prove to my younger self that I can still do what I used to do. um but and yeah, I feel like I'm doing, like, I just broke 15 in the 5K for the first time since college, thanks to Keeton pacing, and so that was like a good step in the right direction. Still not quite where I was at in college, but best I've ran in that distance in a long time. So but yeah, like I think my motivation is just like proving to myself that I can still run what I mean, like it's a sub elite, I guess, time, but like I just want to feel like competitive again, like at a high level. So like I did in college, getting all American at, it was D2 cross, but for me that felt like really competitive. So I just want to feel that feeling again, and that excitement of being close to the front of races and stuff. It's fun.
That's what we kind of do it for. I love that. I think that's great stuff for people to hear. Set hard goals and don't be afraid to pursue them.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I always tell myself there's a difference between like just running and training, like for sure. And like I definitely want to, like I got into that just running mindset for a while after college, but like yeah, now it's like we're training, bro. We're working towards a goal. So yeah. But sorry, Stod, you can end the pod. Sorry, bro.
No, I was just going to say we'll see you at CIM in 2027, 2:15:59.
Hopefully it's McCurdy 2027, but if it's got to be CIM 27, then it's going to be. So it'll be, I mean, if it doesn't happen this, like in the spring, it'll be McCurdy. I'm not going to try for it at Boston, but it'll be Indy and then CIM. Yeah. All of those.
Are you going to fun run Boston?
If I go to Boston, I'll race it, but I don't like fun running Boston. But here's my problem with Boston. My PR there is 2:46. I have like completely imploded every single time I've run that race.
Let's just stay away then.
Yeah, like part of me says that, and part of me is like, I got to figure this out, like at some point, like at least give me a sub 2:30 on that course, and like I can live with that. But I just like, I'm not gonna like, accept that my long-term Boston PR is going to be in the 2:40s. I just refuse to accept that. So
yeah, we'll put it on the back burner. Once we OTQ and hit those goals, then it's a Boston standard, or like a standard for you to be okay with. We'll do that.
That's exactly what it's probably going to be, is like, if once the OTQ passes, whether I make it or not, it's going to be like, how do we figure out Boston? Like, how do we like actually, because if I broke 2:20 at Boston, I would finish like pretty dang high in the probably like top 20, like not in the elite field, but like in the masses, which would be pretty cool. So I was dreaming of that this year, but I was just totally burnt. So I had a horrible race, but maybe one year. We'll see.
All right.
We appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah.
Episode 29.
Episode 29. Appreciate you guys. See you guys next time.